Thanks, Danny. Well, new overnight, the Pentagon says it struck another alleged drug boat off the coast.
The Defense Department has confirmed that it launched a strike in the Pacific Ocean, killing one person. That brings the total number of strikes to at least 29 since September, with more than 100 people killed. The Trump administration's intensifying campaign against what it calls narco-terrorism comes as the U.S. continues to ramp pressure on Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. Over the weekend, troops seized a second sanctioned oil tanker, and President Trump says that there is a third in its sights.
It's moving along, and we'll end up getting it.
Venezuela has slammed the U.S. strikes and seizures of oil tankers as piracy. The country's government has introduced an anti-piracy bill. Last week, the president would not rule out war with Venezuela, and Monday he threatened land attacks could start soon. Well, President Trump is reacting to the release of more Jeffrey Epstein files over the weekend.
The Justice Department releasing those files on the convicted sex offender after the Friday deadline set by Congress. Scott McFarland has more.
The weekend release of more Jeffrey Epstein case files hasn't extinguished the political fire engulfing the Trump administration. It's inflamed it.
I believe they're trying to protect rich and powerful people who are involved or involved in the cover-up.
Democratic California Congressman Ro Khanna says the Department of Justice, which released several photos of former President Bill Clinton, is flouting the law by releasing only a fraction of the Epstein files, many of them heavily redacted. Unless more are released, he tells CBS News he'll push for a vote to find U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi in contempt.
I really don't want to go after Pam Bondi. My interest is getting the documents out.
Some files, including one with a photo of Trump and women, were posted, then taken down, then posted again. Others were completely blacked out, which the Department of Justice defended as necessary to protect victims' identities.
A lot of people are very angry that pictures are being released of other people that really had nothing to do with Epstein, but they're in a picture with him because he was at a party, and you ruin a reputation of somebody.
Late today, the president reacted to the release of files.
I don't like the pictures of Bill Clinton being shown. I don't like the pictures of other people being shown. I think it's a terrible thing.
Among the documents causing alarm, a 1996 report confirming Epstein survivor Maria Farmer asked the FBI to investigate him for possession of child pornography.
I think seeing this evidence just begs the question of why was nothing done? This is not a small crime that she was reporting, child pornography.
Farmer's sister, Annie, spoke to CBS News.
We will continue to put pressure on, and that there are so many people that are invested in the truth of this case coming to light that sooner or later it will.
The Department of Justice did not respond to requests for comment. CBS News has learned a group of Epstein survivors are planning to come back here to Washington in January to the Capitol to try to press Congress to intervene if the full files aren't released in short order. Scott McFarland, CBS News, Washington.
Well, in continuing coverage, new information coming out of the Fort Smith shooting from over the weekend. Police say Wayne Nance attempted to break into an apartment Sunday night off of North 11th Street.
The person who called 911 was in the apartment with their girlfriend and children when the suspect allegedly then tried to push through the door. When police arrived at the scene, Nance was shot and killed. The investigation is ongoing, and police say a prosecutor will investigate to determine if charges are needed.
And leaders in Washington County have tabled a discussion on a controversial concrete plant in Prairie Grove. On Monday, the Quorum Court was set to consider a permit for the plant, but they pushed it back to next month after discussing that a certain representative for the project was not present at the meeting. More than 1,000 people have signed a petition opposing the project, citing concerns about health risks, water quality, and increased traffic.
In Bentonville, the City Council has passed a wastewater revenue bond to help pay for major sewer expansion. Those moving or starting development there will have to pay a fee. It covers the development of new wastewater systems and sewer lines 12 inches or larger, as the systems in place are at capacity. Mayor Stephanie Orman says the city received a loan offer from the Alice Walton Foundation to help with funding. It comes as the city is seeing major growth. A study this week names Arkansas as the #1 state moved into in 2025. Nearly 40% of those movers were headed to Bentonville.
And this morning, we're learning how a recent executive order impacts the marijuana industry here at home. President Trump signed the order last week directing federal agencies to move marijuana from a Schedule I to a Schedule III drug. Right now, medical marijuana is legal here in the natural state, but recreational use is banned. In a statement, a spokesperson for Attorney General Tim Griffin says any federal reclassification would not alter or impact Arkansas's constitutional provisions or marijuana laws. Senator Ronald Caldwell backed that, saying it's strictly for medical purposes.
It was to try to develop new treatments for these chronically ill patients, and especially those with cancer that may receive some relief. And there's other items out there too that can be treated, but I know that it is strictly a medical application.
Department of Health, more than 113,000 Arkansans hold medical marijuana cards. But Senator Caldwell says the biggest impact won't be at dispensaries, it will be in laboratories.